Today is a class on existential anxiety. That is one of the reasons of stress and what to do. Okay? So what that means? That means that we live this life identify with the body, living in the material world, but at the same time, we intuitively know there is something more than what the eyes can see. Especially in situations of stress and crisis, sometimes can be very dramatic, and we learn to pray in this situation. But also, we feel that there is something, must be something, and that is more beautiful than what that we can perceive. So some people systematically try to find the answer by doing practices, systematic manner. They calm their mind, they open their heart, they balance their energies, and they also educate their intellect. They resort to scriptures and to teachers, people of spiritual authority, to see what these sages or these seers or these teachers say about life. At the same time, they have to prepare themselves or foster this self-awareness, self-big S. That means the awareness of reality that is beyond the mind and the personality, the ego. Because what we have is just the mind, the senses, and what we think we are. So in yoga, we say that this awareness of the true picture of reality or the self, big S, can come with sattva. Sattva is a concept you know, is the energy of purity of balance and compared to the energy uh, of darkness, of ignorance, of carelessness, or the energy of selfish endeavor, constantly acting and running after the external goal, and very restless. So then the yoga practices bring about sattva, which is calmness, balance, rest, understanding. I believe the word balance is very important, which is the feeling that you get after you do a 2 hours yoga class, for example, and you feel more relaxed. The body has to go through this move and the breathing and the relaxation and the concentration, and you feel much more open and relaxed. So that is called the state of sattva. So it is said that you can have your self-awareness or the true awareness of the quote true self or true vision of reality when you are in the state of relaxation, you feel safe, you're not running away, you are not repeating the same fear pattern of the mind. So in that state of sattva, then you can have a feeling, an intuitive feeling of the pure consciousness that is the core essence of who you are. That means that you can see through to your uh, soul, uh, your soulful state of peace, of love, of joy. So much words I can tell, but you have to feel. There are moments that you do feel that. You feel that peace that is past all description, and you feel that inner contentment, inner joy. So yoga, Vedanta philosophy say, what you're feeling during this time is true. Like you sit and you look at the sunrise, a beautiful morning, and you feel like that. You feel the sense of infinity. Yeah. So yoga, Vedanta philosophy say, when you feel something like this, it's because your mind is calm and peaceful, and you're not so self-concerned with all kinds of things, how you look, how you talk, who are you, your history. You're not concerned about all this, and your mind is at rest, and you can see through to the bottom, your heart. You can see through. So at that time, it is said that you achieve what we call spiritual healing. As you know, stress at 3 levels is a physical level when you are stressed in your body, and then mental, emotional level when your mind is carrying negative impressions and reactions, and spiritual healing or spiritual stress when you are in the dark. You don't really know why life is so complicated, why things are changing, why things are happening. Yeah? You believe in this truth, but in fact, if you can calm your mind and empty it with all this tendency and preoccupation, then you'll be able to see a true picture that is beautiful, like the sun that rises behind the clouds. It's beautiful, but you cannot see the sun when the cloud is there. So to be able to get to that intuitive feeling, yeah, we have to work harder. Okay? So we have to try to not to be too attached to our external, ego or external identification with body and mind. We try to be more alone in meditation, yeah, so that we can access this consciousness or this view of reality, and not being absorbed by too much, noises around. So we can also try to have this experience of oneness, because during the time when you are happy, you have the experience of oneness. So in our daily life, we try to use the word we, yeah, more inclusive we, than use the word I, that is more separated. We try to look at people around us as your own Atman, or your own self, your own true self, your own spirit. You look out and you see Mother Nature, the universe. You look inside, you see your own true self. You look at other people, you try to see them as yourself, and you always ask yourself through self-inquiry, the technique of self-inquiry, so that you remove the veil over your eyes. So it is said that what you see is not really the truth, you are being veiled. So we need to ask ourselves questions, where that come from, where that idea come from, where this sadness come from, where this anger come from, and then we remove the veil over our eyes. Okay? Not taking for granted everything that you see and feel to be the truth. So you look out and you can say that you see the Supreme Being, something that is bigger than your eyes can see. You look in, then you see your true self is not the identity that you normally, label yourself with. So there are techniques, techniques to distinguish the not I and the I, the not self and the self. So you have to use a very sharp intellect in order to sort out. This is changing, so that's not me. This is always there. So this is more true or real, like this. So this is quite a big exercise to sort out. It takes a very stable self in order to do so, because if you are still very, wobbly or very insecure within yourself, and it's very difficult to do this exercise because you feel, that you're losing ground, or you don't know anymore who you are, then it would create more confusion. Yeah. So it is said that one thing that will help is self-acceptance and self-surrender. I mean, when your mind up and try to plead for this reality or that reality, yeah, that is all the time very stressful. But your mind try to bite into this and reject that, and we call fight and flight, and even more freeze kind of response. Then it is said that at that time you cannot see, the picture. So from there come a lot of emotional reaction that are either anger and or fearful, uh, paralyzing. So one of the advice is to do we call self-acceptance and self-surrender. No matter what you see, no matter what you feel, accept it and surrender to it. That means don't allow yourself to be worked up in fight and flight mode, or in the freezing mode of terrible fear. So accept it. Accept whatever surrender to whatever. You can say that it is, there is something, you believe that there is something that is perfect. Yeah? If you can calm your mind. Yeah? So then you accept. Called the practice of self-acceptance and the practice of self-surrendering. So how to apply this? Try to not reject anything. Do not think that something is better. Yeah. Limit the running towards something or running away from something, because that's the normal mode of our mind. Our mind is function in duality all the time, swinging this extreme to that extreme. You like something and you dislike something else. So try not to allow this to happen, or it can swing but swing less. Yeah. And if you feel painful, either physical or mental or emotional, you need to breathe into the pain. You have to breathe into the pain, and you dissolve the pain in acceptance. Yeah? You have to accept. So don't make too much effort. Don't fight too much. Stay calm. So this is it's a very appropriate lecture today, because there's the whole world is upset. A lot of upsetting. There's a war is going on. There's climate change going on, but also there is a big political changes that happen. The whole world is looking, with the election of U.S. president. Yeah, half of the country is happy, half the country is not happy. So half the country is hating the other half. So it's a very, very upsetting time. So this talk, I think is good timing. So we need to stay calm in order to access the truth. Okay, you need to stay calm, because if you don't stay calm, that's why there's a lot of violence, because people react, yeah, to things that they think unfair or terrible. So then the main first thing, advice is stay calm. Everything is perfect as it is, even though you do not see it. Okay? So in order to help yourself to do that, you can do restorative yoga. I mean, you switch your sympathetic nervous system, and you just relax. And you relax and you relax and you relax. Yeah. Or you can do savasana. So after you do set up yoga pose, and then easier for you to go into that relaxation, in that state of acceptance. And also, what you need to do is called self-love. Self-love. Yeah. So when you are in that mode of stress, then oftentimes you can do self-destruction. Yeah. That means you would go and drink your sorrow away, or you can commit act of violence, or you can, depress for days and nights, not doing anything. So you would have to do self-love. Again, the self-love is the big S. Okay? Of course, you have to soothe your emotion, relax. Yeah, try to find a nice place where you can sit and enjoy nature. And in Đà Lạt here in Vietnam, we are very lucky because there is a lot of flowers. It's a city of flowers. Flowers are not too expensive. So yesterday they gave a whole bunch of flowers at the house where I stay. It's very nice. You look at the flowers, you have to smile, you have to be happy. Yeah? And so flowers, you can also plant flowers. If you know that your tendency is to go up and down, plant flowers. Or you go and live in Dalat, so you can see a lot of flowers. Yeah? So these are soothing to the emotion. Yeah? And also, to be true, the flowers radiate a certain energy. Yeah. So they say the flowers are the bliss of the plant. Bliss of the plant. What that means, the plant, when it's blissful, then it creates flowers. So when you look at the flowers, you also receive a little bliss of the plant. Yeah? So, but nature has many, many instances that can give you, a boost of energy. Self-love is self-acceptance. It's not self-rejection. So most of the time when we have negative feeling about ourselves, because in the past things are never, perfect, and we have suffered from this, situation from past. So it mark our mind with certain tendency of thinking, so then, so usually we cannot feel good about ourselves. Yeah, because we are not able at that time to pierce through this veil of negativity, this reactive tendency, and so we identify at that moment of crisis or difficulty with what happened, and then it creates more imprinted in our mind, our imprint in our mind. So then it perpetuates the idea of self-rejection. Okay? So this idea of self-rejection is very deep. Yeah? Lack of self-confidence. So many people suffer from this lack of self-confidence, lack of self-care. Yeah? In tamasic and rajasic individual. So if you are tamasic, that means you are lazy, you are don't care, then you go more deeper into that tendency. You're depressed, you go more depressed. You're addicted, you become more addicted. You are self-destructive, you become more self-destructive. And so it's like that. Or rajasic. You seek for happiness outside. You go crazy doing this and trying, doing that. You're running around, busy, do this, that. And you have the tendency to continue to do that. Yeah? So these are not self-love action. Yeah? So self-love is putting all the energy, within that self, within yourself, in order for you to calm down. Okay? So the love that is usually you address to others and to objects, external, you need to turn inward. So you need to be more, innerly aware of your feeling, yeah, of your emotions, of your state. Okay? You cannot repress, you cannot express, but you are aware. Yeah? And just the fact that you are aware, you care. You care for your little self. Little self in the sense of, the modern psychology, they call your inner child. Modern psychology say inner child. So you care for your inner child. Inner child is crying. Inner child is not so happy. Yeah, so you are the parent. Soothe the child. It's okay. Be patient. This too will pass. Relax. Take a walk. Drink some nice favorite drink. Take a break. Yeah. Take the time to do your own asanas so you can relax nicely. Stay still. You don't have to go on with your engagement in your busy life. Take a break. So these are all self-soothing, an act of self-love. Okay? Take care of the body at that time like a temple. Take time to eat well and enjoy life. Give words of appreciation to one's own self and also learn to appreciate others. Okay? So when you give words of encouragement and appreciation of your own self, you feel good. And also, you can also appreciate other people around you. Avoid at that time to compare yourself with others. Because at that time, you feel a little shaky. Yeah. So then you should not compare yourself with others because you are not able to hold your ground at that time. Then again, you go back into a negative tendency. Avoid wasting energy on something we cannot change. So things you cannot change, then don't fight. Okay? And be ready to change something that needs to be changed. Yeah. But in the certain things that cannot be changed, there are things that can be changed. Okay? So put the energy on something that can be changed. And know the difference. You need to know the difference between things that are unchanging and things that can be changed. So self-acceptance is, I said earlier, is also self-surrender. Self-surrender to what? To the universe will. There is something that is more intelligent than our own intelligence. Yeah. So then we would have to accept that intelligence, because if we rely on our intelligence and our senses and our mind, then things doesn't, sometimes do not add up. And you cannot understand and it stresses you out. So you would have to refer to the divine will. So then stay relaxed and accept life's happening and life's outcome as a gift. Instead of resisting and fighting, trying so hard to make a life, instead of just being. So try to, at that time, do more spiritual practice, go more to spiritual gathering, do more satsanga in order to remind yourself and try to be in the state of being instead of the state of reacting. Okay? So how do you apply that? Apply the policy of no complaint. That means we're always complaining. Oh, it's raining every single day. So you can complain. Yeah? but you try not to complain. You try to accept whatever it is, Adopt a smiling attitude of cooperation and flexibility. So at that time when you are in a stressful mode, the tendency is to become rigid. Yeah? And that's where the anger comes from, or irritability. But, try to be flexible, to cooperate with whatever in small detail. Adopt the idea that there is no other. Everything is your own self. So what that means, instead of living more out of the consciousness of separation and angry and hatred, you have to live more in the consciousness of oneness. There is no other. Actually, everything is the self. Let go of control. Remember the self in others to let go of fear. That comes from attachment. So if we are attached to a certain way, how things should be, then we have a lot of fear. Okay? So you have to let go. You have to let go of our anxiety towards the future. Yeah. So when our mind is active, then it's always think in terms of past and in terms of future. So that's why you need to rest your mind, relax your mind, so it doesn't go to the past or the future. Because the future will bring about anxiety. What will happen? What will happen? Yeah. So you need to, at that time, hear more and share more stories of grace. Yeah. In your life, there are many times stories of grace. Yeah, that has happened. So in the time of uncertainty, then try to remember these stories of grace. Relying on Mother Nature. Yeah. For example, if you're sick and you're stressed, you have to relax so then the body can heal itself. It will take time, to heal physically as well as mentally. So trust and take the time you need. Increase faith and courage. Okay? So in the time that you feel abundant by God, you know the story of the two sets of footprints. It's one of my my favorite story. I believe it's a Christian story. So there is the devotee and God walking together on the sand beach, and they saw the two set of footprints. So then walking next to each other. So at one point there is only one set of footprints on the sand, and the devotee would turn to God and say, "Yeah, I recognize this. Why, in my moment of despair, when I need you the most, why you leave me alone?" Okay? Because the devotee thinks that the set of footprints is his own set of footprints. He feels at that time abandoned and lonely. So God answered, no, 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 you make a mistake. The set of footprints left on the sand are my footprints, because at that time I was carrying you. Such a beautiful story. Yeah. So what that means? That means in the time of despair, or the time of difficulty, yeah, when you cannot, the normal sense, the ego sense, cannot do anything, and despair, cannot see through to the situation, then at that time, most vulnerable time, is the time that you will see the truth. At that time, in the most moment of this, in the deepest moment of despair, you will be able to see through what normally your mind would not allow you to see. So when you break down is when you'll be able to see your own tendency and the truth about things. Okay? So think about this. How when the most difficult time, we need to increase faith and courage. So we need to normal daily life, try to practice to increase trust. Try to avoid suspicion, try to avoid anxiety, yeah, and always cultivate faith. Yeah. You read scripture with faith, you repeat mantra with faith, you eat with faith, you remind yourself of the indweller, yeah. You dare to do things beyond your comfort zone. You try a new posture, a new endeavor with faith that it will work out. Okay? So, self-awareness, that means that knowing of the truth within you that is always there, waiting for you, but normally you cannot see, brings in self-responsibility. What that means? And that means that at that time, if you start to become more and more self-aware, that you will take responsibility of your life. Yeah, you stop the blaming game. Okay, so this happened because of that person. This happened because of this and that. Yeah, the person will do his or her duty, taking necessary steps. For example, if you're sick, you need to take rest and take medicine. Okay, and eat properly, doing exercise and meditate. Do your duty to the temple of the body. Yeah, and give up expectation. So if you have disease, then try to remember this is only relating to this life, this body, this karma. So that is more difficult, to see through to your immortal self when you are sick and you're afraid of death and you want to cure and you don't know when. Yeah. So it's not easy, but still know that it exists. So it helps to know that it exists and you can access somehow, okay, to your own intuition, yeah, instead of being completely governed by emotions and desires. That's normally our mind function just with emotions and desires. So you need to understand, at least intellectually, that spirit is the most important thing in your life because it comes before everything else. Okay? The mind comes from the spirit and the body comes from the mind. The subconscious mind or the low mind makes up a huge part of the total mind. Okay? So then that's explain why we are helpless and at the mercy of our low mind, our subconscious mind. So the first step on the path of self-awareness is to be aware of our reactive tendency and our instinct and our habitual thoughts and feelings. So we need to slow down and change gear. If not, we are like riding in the car 100 miles an hour and go straight in one particular direction and crash. Okay? So we need to slow down so that you have time, a chance to examine yourself. Yeah. So we can switch a little bit the course of your life. Use your intellect instead of only using your emotions. Okay? Reason, exercise choice, take conscious decision about things. Okay? And know that always it's a struggle between your low mind, your habitual mind, and your high mind. So be strong so you can sustain this, struggle to see through. Using your higher mind. Try to use your higher mind more. Your reasoning mind, your intuitive mind, your superconscious mind. Okay? And you need a lot of prana in order to do so. So try to live in places that has a lot of prana. In nature, in silence. So in place that is pure energy, so that you can have a chance to hear your own mind, see your own mind, and get the prana that you need in order for you to think. Turn our gaze inward and try to contemplate the teaching of the scripture. So Vedanta teach a lot about the truth, about the self, but through stories and analogies. Yeah, for example, it teaches about unity and diversity by giving example of many different size of pots made of clay. One pot is to be used to collect rainwater in order to wash the toilet. Another pot is glazed and beautiful, is to contain the flowers on the altar. So they do different things. Yeah, they have different shape, different color, but they're all made of clay. So without clay, there are no pots. Without spirit, there is no different bodies and different lives. So we try to see the essence of everyone. Gold, the same, turn into different ornaments, different name, different shape, but they're all made out of gold. Yeah. So spirit is the same, but it turned out different classes of men. From the most ugly person grows to the most refined person. So under apparent differences, yeah, there is a sacredness, yeah, of all things. So there are many types of fruits, of flowers, of insects, of animals. What is the animal you show me? Praying mantis. Yeah, it's a beautiful photo of praying mantis. It's a little insect. Somebody is afraid of insect here, but there's some. How big, Swami? Normal? I say like this. It's like this. Yeah, it has big eyes, and it's looking, and it's turning his head to follow Swami when he's passed by. So he's very amazed of this creature. So you recognize the unity in diversity. Spirit is one, but names and forms are many. There's only one self, like there is only one sun. Yeah, but the reflection of the sun, yeah, on the floor, for example, or on a mirror, that you put the mirror here, or different buckets of water. So there's different reflection of the sun. Yeah, in the buckets of water, in the mirror, in the floor. Yeah, it depends on the bucket of water, or depends on the floor. Let's say you have a tile floor, or a wooden floor like this, varnish, then the reflection will come out different. Yeah, But the sun is the same. There are many different types of reflection of sun, but the sun is the same. This is a beautiful story. So think about this. There's only one consciousness, universal consciousness, but it reflects in different people as different way of seeing things. So remain unattached. So you need to be unattached to these appearances. Don't compare these appearances. Oh, look, my reflection is more than yours. Yours are false. Look at my reflection. But you don't see. You also only can see the reflection. You don't see the true sun. So the analogies behave like the wind, carrying all order. Sometimes good order, sometimes bad order, but it's untouched by all these orders. Same as the Atman is, or the true self, is untouched by whatever circumstances. Be like the crystal, reflecting the color it was placed against, but itself remaining pure, colorless, and unattached. Be unattached in the world of Maya or change, where all is relative, like the hardness of stone compared to the softness of mud. Everything in this world is relative. You say you are suffering. I'm suffering terrible. This thing come, this happened. But you compare to other people. It's not that bad. You see? So think about this. There is no absolute truth or absolute value in this world. The truth is to be found in the Atman. Therefore, in time of uncertainty, do more spiritual practice. Don't run away from spiritual practices in time of trouble, in time of uncertainty. And this is what most people do when, when time difficult, and then forget about all the yoga and all the meditation, So they go out in the street and screaming and complaining. But, they said the opposite you need to do. Cease to look for absolute happiness where it is not. Absolute happiness doesn't belong to this life. It is said, like looking for the teeth of a crow. Crow is a bird that has no teeth. And you look for the teeth of the crow, you'll never find. Looking for the baby of a virgin lady, and you will not find. Cease to look for the needle outside when you have lost it inside. Okay? The mind is subjective. Attachment makes things beautiful. What is poisonous and rejected by one can be well sought by another. All is relative to the mindset only. So all is in the mind. The good, the bad, the ugly is all in your mind. But the universe is endowed with consciousness, even though the nature of objects is quite different. The threads of a web are only the spider. And so you see this apparent universe. You forgot the creator. Yeah, it's like the spider is roaming among the web. But you think it's two different things, the web and the spider. But in fact, if you think a little bit, then the web is made out of the spider. Yeah? The energy that creates the web comes from the spider. The material that creates the web comes from the body of the spider. It's his own saliva. So, therefore, even though you see the web as separate from the spider, the web and the spider are one. Okay? Do not try to change the illusions or the dreams. Work to change from within. You cannot change the outside, but change is from within. Think properly. Do not waste energy finding the logic in things. Find the essence and stay away from Maya. Okay? Because that's what we do. We try to find things, yeah, logically. But things seems not to be logic. Yeah? The self is all there is. Love the self, the big S, in all. All is love. Serve oneself in others. Control the mind waves to see the underlying self. Do self-inquiry. Reject false identification. So this is a time for us to practice meditation. Wake up and learn what we can. Remember ourselves. Stay away from past and future. Be in the moment present. See the essence and not the manifestations. Respect the differences. The essence is one. Come back to unconditional love of self and others. The love and the truth will set us free. Okay? So thank you very much.